Welcome to Breakroombets, the channel dedicated to the sports talk that you have around the water cooler at work. But in our break room here in Vegas, we're always looking at this from the betting angle. I'm your host, Miles, and in today's video, we are talking best bets of Week 5 in the NFL. Man, last week was our first week of the season that we had a losing record, so we're looking to bounce back. We're going to spend $250 in this video. We're going to make 5 bets, $50 each. We'll use the Caesars Sportsbook app to make all of our picks. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's schedule, looking at the morning games first. The first game we're betting on is between two winless teams, the Cardinals and Bengals, and give me the Cardinals +3. Here's why I like this. Zach Taylor's offense has been awful this season, averaging 14.3 points a game, which makes them third worst in the league. And their defense has just let running backs do whatever they wanted. In fact, they've given up 8 touchdowns to the running backs that you see on your screen through 4 weeks. Man, David Johnson should have a field day. This should finally be the week that David Johnson fantasy owners are glad he's on his team. You also have to think this is going to be an emotional game after the passing of their owner this week. I think they're also going to go out there, potentially get that first win, but definitely cover. So we're making our first $50 bet on the Cardinals +3. The other underdog that I like in the morning games, it's the Jets +14 against the Eagles. I mean, 14 points is so much, and it's been a rough start for Adam Gase and the New York Jets this season, but there's no way they could have anticipated their starting quarterback getting mono, and then their backup getting hurt and having to throw an unprepared third-string quarterback out there against Myles Garrett in that pass rush from Cleveland. The following week, they play the New England Patriots, who their defense has just looked like an all-time great this season. But now he gets the whole bye week and this week to prepare for Carson Wentz and the Eagles, and as great as that offense is, their pass defense has been terrible this season. They're banged up. They did just trade for Orlando Scandrick, but they've allowed the most passing yards through 4 weeks in the NFL. So this is going to give the Jets offense a chance to do something, and they're desperate. So even if they're losing late, you know they're going to continue to try to score points. 14 is a lot. This game feels like it's going to be a backdoor cover, like the last time we won on the Jets, and give me the Jets +14. Leaves me $150 left. And the next game I want to talk about is the game featuring the other New York team, but this time I like the favorite. Give me Minnesota -5 at New York Giants. Like many others out there, I picked up Danny Dimes off of waiver wire, and I think he has great potential. But come on. The Vikings defense is going to be the best defense this guy's ever played in his entire life. First game was at the Bucs. The Bucs defense has been awful. Next game was his home opener against the winless Redskins. And when it comes to Kirk Cousins, he always beats the bad teams. He always wins the games he's supposed to. After a week of both receivers being in the news for making comments about him, and with the running game that they have, I expect the offense to come out there and try to put up as many points as possible to silence some of the critics. In Vikings -5, I think that everyone's overreacting to Daniel Jones. This is the week where we reset those expectations and show the Vikings are a great defense with a great running game and kind of an average quarterback, but that will beat the Giants by at least 5 points. This year, I've had a love-hate relationship with the Atlanta Falcons. I couldn't bring myself to bet on them, but what I do love in this game is the under 50. That is a huge point total, and I think it's only because there's good name recognition amongst fantasy football players in this game between Watson and Ryan, but the facts are both of these teams are averaging less than 20 points per game. Everyone always brings up with Matt Ryan if the game is indoors. Really, is it home or away? Even when he's away in domes, he does not play as well. With Watson, his offensive line is terrible. I mean, they've given up the 3rd most sacks of any team in the league this season. Also, Watson's projected to be the #1 owned quarterback in daily fantasy, and that usually means that game is going to go under and all of those teams bust. I expect it to happen again this week, and that's why we're taking under 50 on Atlanta versus Houston. There wasn't anything in the primetime game that jumped out at me. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Breakroombets. If we do make any bets on these on Sunday, we'll make sure to post them. That leaves us $50 to spend in the afternoon games. And in the Packers and Cowboys game, give me the Cowboys -3.5 at home. Dak and the Cowboys have looked like legitimate Super Bowl contenders through the first 4 weeks. I mean, their offense didn't look so great last week, but they didn't allow a touchdown on defense. And when you think about Aaron Rodgers not having his best weapon in Devontae Adams, and the Packers defense is terrible against the run. They're one of only 4 teams that allows more than 5 yards per carry, and they get Zeke this week. Did you see what Jordan Howard did to them last week? And now they get Ezekiel Elliott. I expect him to have a field day on this defense, which is why I really like the Cowboys in this game. I also feel like the books set it at 3.5 to entice people to bet on the Packers, and most of the money so far is coming in on the Packers. So I'm going to fade the public, take the Cowboys for Zeke to have a huge game, and that means these are our 5 $50 bets this week for Week 5 best bets of the NFL here at Breakroom Bets. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Let us know what you think of our picks in the comment section below. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Hey, I've got to get back to work, but I can't wait to see you next week to talk football in the break room.